So this is the joint press conference of the leadership of three major political parties in Nigeria. We have the African Democratic Congress, we have the Labour Party, and we have the PDP in no order. All I have to do is introduce those on the high table, and Senator Dino will then conclude the rest of the proceedings. It's my singular honor and pleasure to introduce the three national chairmen here. From the left is my own national chairman, the national chairman of the Labour Party, Comrade Barrister Julius Abure. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Dr. Iyorchia Ayu. The national chairman of the ADC, Rabs Oke-Mosu. And then we have former Governor of Cross River, Governor Leo Imoke. We have the BOT chairman of ADC, Dr. Mani Ibrahim Ahmad. We have the former Governor of Enugu State, Ogosleze Modu. We have Miss Dolly Kola Balogun. We have the National Organizing Secretary of the Labour Party, Comrade Ojukwu Clement. We have my big brother here, High Chief Raymond Dobesi. We have the campaign manager of Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, Oseloka Obaze. We have Chief Dele Momodu, the Director of Strategic Communication for PDP. We have the former Deputy Speaker and former Governor of Imo State. My dear brother, I salute you. Emeka Ihedioha.
Former governor.
I said former governor. And then we'll have Ambassador Nkoyo. My name is Valentine Ozibo. I'm Special Advisor to His Excellency Peter Obi. I now hand over to the distinguished Senator Dino Melaye.
The national patrons that are here, distinguished members of the civil society, ladies and gentlemen, and highly respected members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm. We are here this very historic day for a World Press Conference. We are going to start by inviting the man I call the irremovable national chairman of PDP, former president of the Nigerian Senate, founding member of the PDP, former minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Senator Iyorchia Ayu, for his opening remarks. A round of applause.
Gentlemen of the press, all the distinguished personalities here present, this press conference is not a very pleasant or happy one for our country. We should be celebrating democracy and not lamenting the difficulties that are presented to Nigerians and the world today. And therefore, we welcome you to listen to the position of the main political parties that feel all is not right. And without wasting too much time, I will be calling on my colleague, the chairman of the Labour Party, to please present the position of the three political parties. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. World Press Conference addressed by the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and African Democratic Congress, delivered on Tuesday, February 28, 2023 at Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Fellow Nigerians, members of the press, executives, and members of the press, all other protocols observed. Background. We thank you, members of the press, for honoring this invitation in spite of the short notice. Nigeria held its general election on Saturday, February 28, 2023. And this press conference is to address the urgent and important issues arising from that exercise, which was for the election of President, Vice President, and National Assembly members. The exercise carried out by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is still underway as we hold this conference. Collation is still ongoing. In some parts of the country, we monitored with dismay the travesty to democracy that was exhibited at the National Collation Center of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. It is, to say the least, a raid on democracy. The conduct of the February 25th, 2023 election has been marked by widespread violence, rigging, intimidation of voters, doctoring of results, and violation of the laid-down electoral process, which was communicated by the National Electoral Body, INEC. INEC has announced a process which will require the use of bimodal voters accreditation system, BVAS, for the accreditation and voting, and that all election results would be electronically transmitted from polling units to INEC servers. The above process on election day of the polling units. We have also listened to the arguments made by election officers of the different political parties. The crux of the matter is the deliberate refusal of the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, as the national returning officer for the presidential election, to respond to the demands of political parties for the commission to respect the pre-existing regulations and results of this election shall be uploaded on INEC server through the bimodal voter accreditation system technology. The refusal of INEC to comply with the laid down, published, and agreed process for the conduct of the election has compromised the integrity and credibility of the entire presidential election. We also note that February 25th, 2023, the day of the election, millions of Nigerians were left in utter doubt and disappointment at polling units as INEC officials across the country refused to electronically transmit the results to INEC server as was expected by all stakeholders in this election. In cases where they tried to upload the results, INEC officials assigned to polling units could not do so. In some cases, they revealed that they had directives from their superiors not to upload the results. In some cases, they said that the password for them to access INEC servers had been changed. We also recall that the initial explanation by INEC for the delay was on account of glitches on the INEC servers. Neither did INEC explain to the nation what the nature of these glitches were, nor did the Commission avail the country or even agents at the polling unit that it will not be uploading the results generated at the polling unit to the server when it resolves those glitches. We are therefore constrained on this development to state that INEC compromised the integrity of this election even before the collation began at the PUs. I repeat, we are therefore constrained on this development to state that INEC compromised the integrity of the election even before the collation began at the polling units. Section 16, subsection 5 of the Electoral Act states that the presiding officer shall transfer the results, including total number of accredited voters and the result of the ballot in a manner as prescribed by the Commission. The failure to comply with the provisions of the Electoral Act and the guidelines makes it imperative that all results recently uploaded to the IREF portal be audited before they are announced. It was on the strength of this provision in our Electoral Act that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, introduced BVAS, the BVAS technology, to the country. The expectation of the majority of Nigerians was that INEC was going to conduct the 2023 election in compliance with both the Electoral Act and its own guidelines. Unfortunately, INEC recapitulated on that promise and conducted the election with the usual crude standards that predates the introduction of BVAS machine. This election is not free and far from being fair or transparent. I repeat, this election is not free and far from being fair or transparent. There is ongoing extensive cancellation of results all over the country, especially in the areas of strength of opposition parties, to show up the numbers of the ruling APC. The total number of cancellations to date nationwide has, in any event, rendered the elections inconclusive. We have therefore arrived at the conclusion that the presidential election of Saturday, February 25, 2023, conducted by Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, under the leadership of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has been irretrievably compromised, and we have totally lost faith in the entire process. The People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, ADC, and all other aligned parties shall not be part of the process currently going on at the National Collation Center. And we demand that this sham of an election should be immediately cancelled. We also call for a fresh election. We also call for a fresh election to be carried out within the window allowed by the Electoral Act and in accordance with the laid down INEC procedure for the conduct of the 2023 general election. We similarly call on the international community to note that the results being declared at the National Collation Center have been heavily doctored and manipulated and do not reflect the wishes and aspirations of Nigerians expressed at the polls on February 25th, 2023. We also wish to declare a vote of no confidence on the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, by his conduct and reaction to the complaints of the enfranchised political parties. We believe that he lacks the integrity and moral standing to continue to oversee the process to a conclusion. We are therefore calling for Professor Yakubu or Professor Mahmoud Yakubu to step aside from his role as INEC chairman and for a credible personality from outside the commission to take his place and see this process to a conclusion that will be acceptable to all stakeholders and will restore the confidence of the international community in the democratic process and institutions. We have a responsibility to the millions of Nigerians who put their faith in our parties and our presidential candidates to defend our country from the forces that seek to tear us apart. We are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, to stand by his promise to Nigerians to bequeath a legacy of free, fair, transparent, and credible elections to the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, this is the time. This is a time of great tests of your integrity. To use your office to save Nigeria from this electoral mismanagement and save your legacy from the forces that seek to mar your democratic credentials. We are calling on Nigerians to continue to believe in the promise of Nigeria, to join us in defending the integrity of our country and defend our democracy. Thank you, and God bless you.
I think the National Chairman of Labour deserves another round of applause. With the fluency of that delivery, I was expecting that by the time the Labour Chairman was running up, would have just said, "My name is Chief Julius NTA reporting from." Please, another round of applause. That is the position of the three political parties that are here, and by extension, the position of majority of Nigerians, home and abroad. And the meat of it all is that we've asked that the national chairman of INEC step aside, because that question since when you listen to the voice, so that you, the media here, can juxtapose what Mahmoud Yakubu said in November last year and what he's doing in February.
It's not. Let me seize this opportunity to respond to a story emanating from a section of the media that the Commission has decided to jettison the uploading of polling unit level results in real time on election day. It should please be disregarded as fake news. The Commission will upload polling unit level results, and citizens will have access to those results in real time as we upload to the polling units. This innovation was introduced by the Commission. The Commission cannot turn around and undermine itself. So this technology has come to stay. We'll upload polling unit level results from the polling unit. Citizens will have the right to view these results. After all, who are we serving? The citizens. How can we deprive citizens from access to the results of the process conducted by them at the level of polling units? So I welcome you to the Commission. I want to assure you and reassure you that the 2023 general election is going to be our best ever elections. We are committed, and that the votes cast by Nigerians will determine the outcome of the elections. Nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you very much. They say facts don't lie. So that was the voice of Yakubu, and we will just oppose that with what is happening in Nigeria today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jam our hands together for the chairman of ADC.
You can see this is fully here, and we're well represented. Unfortunately, I have cold. So the BOT chairman is here, so we can hear this statement. Dr. Mani.
Okay, thank you very much. I have very little to add to what has been said. We are in agreement with the position taken here, and I think every other Nigerian is in tune with what we are pursuing. If elections are free, fair, credible, transparent enough, you will not have agitations coming up. And for the fact that people are gathered here and we're talking in this manner, it shows that a lot of question marks have been raised. And there is every need that these issues are addressed in the way and manner that we have presented, so that Nigerians will eventually accept the results of the elections as the will of the people. We're not asking for anything extraordinary. We're asking that the laid down rules that have been set out should be followed in toto and to the latter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mani. Please, question time. Yes, the man behind.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Peter Okoja.
Can you just come? Neil, you are. Okay, you are hearing. Okay, fine. Oh, it's just that it's not for the cameras. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very good afternoon to you guys, to you, sirs. My name is Peter Okoja. I work for BBC World News. This is an extraordinary press conference, but are you guys not jumping the gun? The country has a constitution. There is a method of redress, if that's what you want. Why not let, and this is just a journalist's question, why don't you let the process run its course and then seek redress in the courts as the Constitution provides? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to note your question, but it's more of a directive than a question. Because you ask a question and thank you.
Yes, my name is Dr. Chikio Kogu.
Let's your face, please.
Oh, sorry, please.
Can stand up, please.
I wish I could, but I want to ride on existing protocols. Because that's what I do for fun. My name is Dr. Chikio Kogu, and I speak not only for the disability community, I speak as a fellow of the Institute of Leadership and Management, Manpower Development. So I speak as a leader. We're not fools. We're of transport and logistics. They are the best when it comes to logistics management and transportation. You don't need charlatans like what you have to be distributing. Well, I'm sorry, please forgive me. But we don't need those kind of, in this country today, I mean, look at all of us here. We have the paramilitary who are trained on precision management. The road safety is there. And others, so okay, please. The question I want to ask here. INEC, please, you lost an opportunity to capture data of persons with disabilities on that day. We came out and you promised us that you were going to give us a form EC004. We didn't have that, and we gave you our data. I asked a person. Needed magnifying glasses, you didn't provide. Please, can you answer us and tell us the deaf did not have interpreters telling them what to do? So many of us were disenfranchised on that day. As we want to go further from now, INEC, please put up your thinking cap, tidy up your house, and get this thing properly done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take the first set of 3 questions. We'll take a response, and we'll come back for excuse me, please. We'll take the first set of 3 questions. We'll take a response, then we'll come back for the last set of 3. Leo.
Announced. The INEC chairman, suggested that if you made a formal complaint, that there is a window for opportunity to do that review. Why haven't you taken that to the INEC chairman of your observations and see if he will actually carry out his carry out his intention, like he announced, to do the review within the time frame allowed? Thank you.
That question, since you're referring to me, I will respond immediately. You did not capture the response of the INEC chairman. What the INEC chairman said yesterday is that the reviews are going to be done after the declaration of results. That question, since you're referring to me, I will respond immediately. You did not capture the response of the INEC chairman. What the INEC chairman said yesterday is that the reviews are going to be done after the declaration of results. And that means you want to treat a dead body. That is the literal interpretation. So he is saying that there will be review, but it will be after the declaration of results. And the law says within 7 days of the election. So that is not exactly what the INEC chairman said. He said the review will be done after the declaration. So please, with that question already been answered, I will give the lady the opportunity to answer the question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amaka Ude Walker. I report for Arise News. I have 2 simple questions going by your press conference this afternoon. You're calling for an outright cancellation of the polls. Are you saying all of the exercise was compromised, or are you referring to just the areas where you have alluded that the integrity test INEC has failed in those areas? And Nigerians are wondering, are you saying that the entire process is something we should just, throw in the gutters, even though you have alluded to the fact that, some areas things went smoothly, but other areas the same cannot be said? Why call for the outright cancellation of all results instead of the troubled areas? That is my question, the first one. The second question, you're calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to save Nigerians using your words. So I ask you directly now, within the ambit of the law, what are your expectations from the president right now that you think the action that he can take that can help save Nigerians, as you put it? Thank you.
I will give the microphone to the national chairman of PDP. He will respond. The chairman of Labour will respond. The chairman of ADC will respond, and that will be a response from the 3 political parties here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me take the question from Peter Okocha of the BBC, whom I think I knew from his student days. Why not wait for the courts after the process is completed? We are challenging the very process because it fundamentally violates not just the law, but the electoral procedures which are derived from the Electoral Act, which INEC presented to all of Nigeria. And by the Electoral Act, it's compulsory that these results have to be uploaded from the polling units. INEC has largely violated these things, and it is not a question of waiting until we challenge it in court, because the same Electoral Act provides for us to challenge these results right from the time they are being presented to the public. And INEC has the responsibility of reviewing them and therefore correcting the things we are challenging. And secondly, it is such a wide-scale violation. The malpractices are on a very, very grand scale. And it is important that we bring the attention of not just the Nigerian community, but also of the international community to these gross violations. And that is why we are doing this at this very time. That in no way stops us from going further to challenge them in the court if they decide not to heed to our call for a comprehensive review. We still have a window ultimately to challenge it in court, because definitely this is not a credible election, and it's not acceptable after 20-something years of our democracy to have this type of retrogressive step which Professor Yakubu has taken Nigeria. It is dangerous, and we'll have to take necessary steps, because we don't also want Nigerians to erupt into taking the law in their hands. We, the representatives of the people whom they have voted for our parties, will have a responsibility to do something. Thank you. I will allow the one on the issue of waiting for a review from Dr. Leon of Tribune has been answered by Senator Dino. So I will allow my Labour Party colleague to take that one up from Amaka from Arise.
Okay. Well, in addition to what the PDP chairman has said, the damage that has been done to the election conducted on Saturday is not what you can correct. The provisions of the law and the electoral guidelines are clear that you upload results when they are announced at the polling units. And it is perhaps of importance to take you back to remind you that the numerous challenges we have had so far is because the processes leading to our election and our electoral process has been marked with irregularities and therefore produces very bad leadership. And it is because of this that people decided that to correct this process, to be of importance, to be able to transmit these election results directly from the polling unit, because elections are known to be manipulated after you leave the polling unit. And therefore, the process can no longer be corrected, because those elections are already manipulated, wide-scale manipulation. As we speak now, elections are still being manipulated. In today, in Bayelsa, in Rivers, in Imo, name them, in Nasarawa, election results are still being collected and taken to government houses for manipulation. So it's an incurable process that you cannot correct. Where do you start from? Is it the results that have been manipulated that you can correct? So the best thing to be done is for us to repeat the process. After all, if you send your child to school and the child fails, they repeat the class. So INEC should repeat the class. Since they have failed their exams, because this is a major test from INEC. And we had expected that the process would be done in line with the electoral process. And so since they have failed, it is incorrectible, and therefore the process should be repeated. And this also brings us to answering the second question: why the cancellation of the results, which our friend from Arise asked Kamaka. It's the same response. The process is marked with irregularities, and you can't correct the damage that has been done to that election. The election ordinarily was peaceful, would have been the best of elections, but INEC itself willfully, deliberately decided to destroy that election, and therefore this irretrievable, and this should therefore be cancelled and to be repeated. Calling on Buhari to say, Buhari is the commander-in-president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces in the country. He controls INEC, no doubt. We believe that he has a say in this process, and he can call the INEC chairman to order, because he appoints him, and we believe that if things are not going well by any agency of government, he has the responsibility to intervene and ensure that things are done properly. Thank you.
Okay, I would have said maybe there's virtually nothing to add at this stage, but we all know that if all is well, there will be no need for all of this. We're not doing this because we don't have what to do, or we don't have other things, other expectations per se, differently from this. That at this stage, some of the wrongs can be corrected in the ways that we have suggested, or in some other ways which they feel can bring sanity to the situation as it is. So most importantly here is the fact that the level of rigging that is coming out is widespread. And the process allows that where such happens, results should be cancelled. We're not asking for anything outside the law or anything extraordinary. And where this rigging, as the widespread nature of the rigging is enough to affect the outcome of the elections, then the best thing is to follow what we're saying for the country to be able to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to elucidate in 1 minute, why the three political parties are asking for outright cancellation is because rather than having election collation by the returning officer of the presidential election, who happens to be the INEC chairman, what we have seen so far is vote allocation and not collation. So because it's vote allocation, not collation, reason for outright cancellation.
Let me just draw attention of the press, gentlemen of the press. If you look at the results from Bauchi and Gombe, they are exactly the same results. Bauchi APC has 146,977. Gombe, two different states. APC have also 146,977. PDP in Bauchi has 319,123. PDP in Gombe has 319,123. Labour Party has 26,000 in Bauchi they have 26,160. In Gombe, they also have 26,160. It is very clear that these results were allocated, deliberately allocated. And funny enough, this type of mischief, they didn't do it good enough. And you can see how two separate states, far away, the party scores exactly the same numbers in the elections. Two different states.
Thank you very much. That is just a celestial confirmation that it was vote allocation. Period. And you know the truth of the matter is that when you lie, you won't flow. There must be a mistake. Then I also refer the media here to section 38 of the Electoral Act, please. use that to just oppose what is happening if there's compliance. And yesterday, like Leon said, he asked political parties to come with their results and complain. The honors to publish results is of INEC and not of political parties. That is the law. Our copy of our results cannot, we cannot do anything with it in the public. It is only what INEC publishes that is authentic and should be used. So it's just like shifting responsibility when he said that yesterday. Finally, he said yesterday that engineers are working on the server. That by the time they finish, they will start uploading. So since there is no result in the server, since the server is not ready, is it petrol you buy before you buy car, or you buy car before you buy petrol? Because they ought to have corrected the problems with the server before you should start collation. But you are collating, and you are telling us that engineers are working on the server when the raw material you need, you are supposed to extract from, because the raw material is the result that is supposed to lead from pooling units to the server. It's not there, and you are collating against the provisions of the law. We are going to take 2 more questions, then there will be an intervention by the former governor of Imo.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Akinwotu. I'm a journalist for NPR. And my main question is, you've obviously decided to do this now. Like you said, waiting for the votes to be collated, you said would be like treating a dead body. Waiting to treat a dead body. Are you doing this now in part because you have concerns about the independence of the judiciary, of any electoral tribunal or the courts? Do you have concerns about that? Is that part of why you decided to make this decision now? Just want to know if that factors into your decision.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Sorry, your media is not Nigeria, right?
Yes.
American? Okay, wait till you talk. Okay. Next, please. Sorry. I'm taking it.
All right, good afternoon, sir. My name is Jeremy Adebayo from AIT. I just have a 2 quick questions for you to respond to. The first one is, considering the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria now, I want to know what efforts you're making as the opposition parties to reach out to your supporters. Because we know that the country is currently tense now. What efforts are you making to reach out to your supporters? There's still violence in the country. Then secondly, you're asking for a fresh election. Do you in any way consider what financial implications this will have on the country, considering the fact that we came into this election with a very poor economy? Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Babalola. I'm a journalist for People's Gazette. I want to ask, what is the place for due process? Where is the place for due process? You are a coalition of 3 political parties out of 18 that have contested in this election, and you are asking for an outright cancellation of a process that has not been concluded. Does this sound fair to the other political parties, that are patiently waiting for INEC to release its verdict?
Thank you. I will give them the microphone to answer. But I want to tell you that the walkout was done by 9 political parties. But this press conference, we invited 3. That does not mean that other political parties are not in conformity with what we are doing here. Thank you.
I think we'll start with the level.
Well,
The first question has to do with whether we have no confidence in the judiciary. Well, the issue here is clear. Democracy is about the people. This election is about the people. Even the court itself, we look at the yearning and aspirations of the people. What we can correct right now, I don't think we should delay by waiting for the long processes of the courts. It's already very clear to all Nigerians, except we are making pretenses about it here, that this election is not free, fair, and credible. It's clear to all Nigerians that this election is already compromised, and therefore, if that is the wishes and aspirations of every Nigerian and is the general opinion, the best thing to do is for us to correct it and get it right by jettisoning what has been done and have it done properly. Yes, efforts. The efforts being made by us to reach out to our members. Yes, our members. What we are doing. What has been happening since on Saturday, Nigerians are aware of it. Our members are Nigerians. And we have our own machinery of reaching out to our members. And we also have machinery of getting feedbacks. What we are doing now is in line with what our members want and what I think all Nigerians are also desirous of. For those of you in the media, I know you already know, if you look at your social media, since on Saturday, you can deduce and conclude the yearning and aspirations of Nigerians. The costs. There's no doubt that the cost implication will be high. But it's part of the sacrifice as a nation we need to make at this point in time so that we can get it right. Because if we don't get it right, by getting credible leaders who will be in the saddle of leadership by popular mandate, the cost will by far be higher when you have wrong persons in government. The cost of misgovernance, the cost of bad governance is far more expensive than the cost of conducting free, fair, and credible election. So whatever may be the cost implication, it is our opinion that it is worth the trouble so that we can get it right and get it correctly. What we are doing is also due process, because somebody talked about due process. Democracy is about molding the opinion of people. It's about public opinion. What we are doing is following due process. So we are following due process, and like Dino said, a lot of political parties are with us in this struggle. By 2 p.m. today, Inter-Party Advisory Council will also be meeting on this subject matter. I can assure you that there's going to be a unified position on this, and it will not be different from the position we've taken. Because every rational Nigerian, every Nigerian that believes in this country will have no option than to follow the position we have taken. Thank you, and God bless you.
I will just comment on what we're doing in terms of reaching out to our members across the country. Of course, we have reached out to them severally, and we're still doing it on the need for them to remain calm and law-abiding and allow us to pursue this process in the way and manner we're doing now. We know there's tension in the land, of course, but we're not in any way doing anything now to make it more tense than what it is. So the whole idea today is to assure Nigerians that we will pursue this to a logical conclusion, and there is no need for us to escalate the tension and create situations that will lead to unfortunate endings. And this is why we're doing this, and this is why other efforts will continue in this line. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen of the group. Let me just add that never short force of our judiciary. We have a firm belief that at the necessary point, the judiciary will stand up to its own responsibilities to take positions that will advance democracy in our country. It is true we have had lapses in the judiciary here. For example, we have on this high table a governor that was removed by the judiciary from my party, very unjustly. But in spite of that, we accepted. We hope and pray that the judiciary will contribute to the development of democracy in this country. And when the necessary time comes, we'll definitely approach the courts. Secondly, we are reaching out to our supporters precisely because we don't want them to take any spontaneous reaction and bring a serious challenge of stability in our country. We are doing this precisely because our supporters should know that we are following all due processes to bring justice. But it is also not only our responsibility, it is also the responsibility of the government and of INEC to do that which will keep this country stable, which will make it possible to have a democratic government. And it's largely on that note that we call on the president of the country to do the needful. Because if nothing is done, we may not be able to control our supporters. And it is very important that every agency puts its hands or heads together to make sure that we have a just and fair process, that all those who support us massively across the country will be convinced that justice is being done. On the issue of cost of elections, that has been adequately taken care of by the chairman of the Labour Party. Democracy may sound very expensive, it's certainly not cheap. But if you think it is expensive, try dictatorship, and you will see the cost. We don't want INEC to turn itself into a dictatorship and destroy the very democracy we've suffered our labor to build over the last 20-something years. Thank you very much.
Please, the three chairmen deserve a round of applause. And again, to buttress the fact that what we have in Nigeria today is not election collation, that it is vote allocation. Please check now as you are here, Google, the results of President Muhammadu Buhari's polling unit in 2019. APC 523, PDP 3. In 2022, the election that was done on Saturday, the result, 2023, sorry, in 2023, the election that was done on Saturday, the result of President Muhammadu Buhari's polling units, APC 523, PDP 3, nobody died, nobody become 18 years, no new registered voters. That is just one out of thousands of vote allocations, that was done. 2019, Muhammadu Buhari's polling units, PDP 523, APC 523, PDP 3. In 2023, the same polling units, APC 523, PDP 3. That's United Nations permanent seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to bring this to a wrap, but I want to invite the former governor of Imo State and the former deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, Sir Emeka Ihedioha, for a comment.
Thank you very much, Chairman of political parties, distinguished leaders, gentlemen of the press. Our chairman has spoken, and I align myself completely with their position. However, speaking as an agent, someone asked a question there. Our parties nominated us as agents for a purpose. Our responsibilities is interrogation of the process. My duty as an agent, in my understanding, was not to go and copy results. We have agents in 36 states of the Federation and FCT. And we have agents in 774 local government areas of local government across the country. And so our duty is to compare reports from them with what is being collected here. And if you noticed yesterday on live television, we made efforts to engage the chairman of INEC to hear us fairly as responsible Nigerian. The chairman of INEC was very recalcitrant. He said we have no such responsibility. I mean, he didn't give us any such opportunity, and we found that is. Before we left, you would have noticed that agents of 15 political parties spoke one after the other, given our reason, appealing to the chairman of INEC to allow and consider the request we made for interrogation of the results. And the chairman vehemently said no. And he said, we will not interrogate until they have concluded. And we smelled the rat. At the point of interlude, we walked up to him requesting for an interface. Again, he refused. In fact, when he came back after 3 hours of break, when he came back, the chairman reluctantly,
there was a barricade.
Yes, and there was a barricade, and reluctantly allowed us to air our view before a complete condition. So we did everything we could to engage as responsible citizens. I think it's important here. Now, our chairman has stated very clearly. In fact, he said what I wanted to mention. Distinguished Nigerians, there is a lot of difference between dictatorship and democracy. And we know the yearnings and expectations of Nigerians. What they want is democracy. What they want is democracy. I'll take Imo State, for instance. Labour Party won in Imo. I wanted PDP to win. The Labour won overwhelmingly. And we were happy, we accepted the result as it was. But they began manipulations. And so those are the issues that we want. Integrity of the process is important. We also believe in the fact that Professor Kumu had told us these are the processes as contained in the guidelines and electoral act, and we felt it's important for us to protect the legitimacy of the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the three political parties, I want to appreciate the civil society and the media for this time spent. It is my pleasure to invite Valentine, as you go to please wrap up.
Your Excellencies, let me once again thank the leadership of the three parties here, the PDP, Labour Party, and the ADC, and to thank all the press, the civil society for your attention. In concluding, before we rise for national anthem, let me just re-echo the last comment of the chairman of PDP, which is an appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari. Please save your legacy. Save your legacy. Do not allow any other person to destroy that legacy you promised Nigerians. Do something. Hearken to the prayers of many here today. And God will bless you and bless Nigeria. Can we rise for national anthem? Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's calling to serve our father's land with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve without